again. So, as I was saying about how the government never gave a rat's ass about any of us. So, I'm not sure if anyone out there else recalls, but I certainly do remember the last election. People making a big stink about fabricating votes and how they were being counted. Bickering about anything they could wrap their minds around. Surely in a country where the people's vote is the country's voice, is it not? And the majority vote decides the election, you may think. Take that concept and apply it to the election 4 years prior. It was Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, just chilling in Cedar Rapids. Remind me, who won the popular vote? You could leave it in the comments what you saw on your screens. What the election results were for you in your state. But in my state, it was in fact Hillary Clinton that had won the popular vote. So, how did a rich, corrupt Hollywood businessman win all of those hearts in the presidential election? Well, our votes never mattered. The Electoral College votes are what bought Trump into office. That's just what it took for others to finally catch on to the fact that our vote means nothing in this country. Majority rules in a democracy, yes? So there's no valid or logical reason for an electoral college vote to even matter or exist, or even undermine what the majority wants. Because if we, the people, vote and a majority rules in a democracy, the majority vote should have won the presidency, no? Or am I misunderstanding how democracy works and the majority rule in Americans' popular vote? I don't know. People say, oh, the electoral college is because rural areas. I mean, it's still an acclamation of all of our votes combined, so what does it fucking matter? It's just an excuse for people to say, oh, this or that, and get whoever the fuck they want into office. Because your corporate sponsor is what gets you there. Anyway, quite literally anything you see on the news can be fabricated. Even your local electoral vote. If you have enough money, that is. And so, we can only conclude that our leaders are not chosen, they are paid for. Even if the popular vote has determined a clear victor. So, do you still believe America is the land of the free? I do, as well. Or you may not, but it's kind of ambiguous because, I do because, it's the land of the free. I choose to believe in freedom. But tyranny has been running rampantly through American corporations and government collusion for quite some time. I'll talk about that in a later video with the tobacco industry and how they own basically every local government. Anyway, do you still desire major gun control and law reform? Major gun control and law reforms. Sorry about that. Imagine all the fine print in those sneaky reforms that we never see slipping through Congress, being quietly slipped amongst a bill passed as, we want grass clippings to be put in this dumpster or whatever, and in the fine print it says bombing fucking kids in third world countries. That's the kind of shit that goes on in Congress. That's like when COVID-19 happened, right? We got what? Two stimulus checks for like $700? But in the fine print, like hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars being just handed out to corporations and their criminal friends on Wall Street. The fuck was that? Yeah, sorry. That was fucking weird. Someone must not like that. Went on a bit of a tangent there, sorry. Which is why we have the Second Amendment, to protect our rights. And as a means, as well, to put an end to tyranny in government, domestic and foreign. Unfortunately for big business, they have become ingrained in our political affairs and are no longer exempt from being the largest part of the problem, and tying into that category of tyranny in government. We have the constitutional right as American citizens, put bluntly, to slaughter them. Sling them up to the gallows. Bring them to the fucking guillotine. We have the constitutional right to do that with force. And take back our freedom from the tight grip of tyranny and illusion that we've been ingrained in for centuries. Our soldiers fight for the people, right? The people's rights. Or some totalitarian government in a red, white, and blue Uncle Sam disguise, parading around as democracy and capitalism and a false sense of patriotism. I would certainly rather fight for the people's rights, because I am one of the people who wants my fucking freedom. I hope you are too. Now, speaking of freedom, and the way this country was founded, what it was founded upon, who were our forefathers? The founders of this country, obviously. Were they compliant and complacent with all the taxation and controlling from a governmental entity so distant and out of touch with value? Sorry. Or were they rebels? They were rebels indeed. Stuck a big middle finger at some fucking giants. Founded a country that was supposed to be great. However, in fact, it was never great. And humanity had not yet suffered the extent of their own greed yet, apparently. Wicked men with ill intentions snuck their way in to meddle with freedom, once again. Now, remember when we were thinking about the butterfly effect? Apply that to every little white lie or sneaky slip of the tongue to a messenger those careless men unleashed upon the future. Can you see how some of the seemingly insignificant actions and movements or anything a person does has the potential to make them one of the most despicable criminals in the eye of freedom? Best heroes or whatnot, because if you do one detrimental thing, even say something as fallacious as saying capitalism is great, it drives innovation, is gonna trickle that way down the butterfly effect and make someone worship capitalism while they're starving on pennies from their fucking day job. And it's gonna be brainwashed the whole time thinking it's great. No, the reality is ignorance is not bliss. Trust me, you do not want to be on the bad side of history this time. This is bigger than just our solar system.